Okay, so I'm already starting this wrong. I don't have a script, never do. I meant to set myself a 15-minute timer, which I'm doing now. I'm going to try to talk and demonstrate some of my models. Oh, please don't ruin when I move you to a bigger display. Is OBS still doing good? OBS is still doing good. I'm going to attempt to talk and display models, modeling techniques, lore, and whatnot for the remaining 14 and 37 minutes. So, where to start? Let's start with one of my favorites. Okay, so I've been working a lot on airships. Kind of these. A part of me wants to say steampunk, but I put it more under industrial punk, if that's even a thing. But these Zeppelin, I don't know if I'd call this a Zeppelin. I mean, it's using balloons. I don't know if they're going to be hydrogen yet or not, but hydrogen, right? That's the gas they use. I think so, yeah. I don't know if this would count as a Zeppelin. I'm just going to refer to it as an airship. In particular, this is a light, fastest attack carrier used by a faction that I do not have a name for, so it might be obvious why I'm going to refer to them as the Reds. Just might be a little obvious why I'm calling them the Reds. This is a faction based out of the east. Actually, I can display this very well. Let me go get a picture real quickly. It is a light attack carrier. It is also a fast attack carrier. So it is one of the fastest airships in the world. I do not have a top speed yet. I'm still kind of working on the speed of everything. Okay. This is the current and working map, which is currently upside down. No. What? Yeah, I didn't rotate Y by 180. There we go. This is the red territories. Man, it's super low res and Blender. I'm sorry. This is just the best interactive way I can display it. This is the red territory. These are all floating islands. The whole idea is that the continents... the event, in quotation marks, I do not intend to go that deep into lore that I'm explaining why the islands broke out. This is one of those areas that you're going to have to disband to just remove a bit of your real-world knowledge of things. The islands are broken apart at an extremely high altitude, but people breathe just fine, and gravity on the islands, or the gravity on the world works as normal. So, I don't have a scientific explanation. I don't feel I need one. I just want to do something cool, and I think floating islands is cool in kind of this industrial and steampunk universe with these flying airships. Just an insanely different culture, a little over the top, but that's okay. Anyways, these are the red territories, marked in red because that's their placeholder name. You got the blues, you got pirate territory. That's not accurate, but I marked that kind of as one of their islands. An odd territory, the nation of Telok, and then another odd territory that I haven't quite worked out all the details for. But these are the two major ones that I might display, but we're going to focus on reds. This is the Archer class fast attack carrier. It is a fast airship, one of the fastest airships. It is a very light frame, very light overall construction. The superstructure is not anything intense. I need to add a bit more of antenna work up here, but it is not much to look at, although I think it looks very nice. These I might actually remove or remodel. These are supposed to be kind of short bursts, air bursts, like mortars. They just fling out a bunch of stuff, mostly meant for anti-aircraft. These revolver cannons are the main weapon of the fast assault carrier and one of the Red's primary guns. It is a advanced semi-auto. Well, it's kind of auto-loading. Like it reloads automatically, but yeah, no, an auto-loader. Yeah, auto-loading. Pretty big barreled gun. The way the contraption works is when it's ready to fire, this barrel slides back hydraulically. This piece, I haven't fully rigged it, but this piece comes forward around the end of the shell. It fires, the recoil pushes this piece back. This piece, once the gun, like, the timer goes, so the gun knows it's fired, this piece comes back forward. The whole cylinder rotates, allowing the process to repeat, and then a shell kicker, this little plunger here, pushes the shell out here so it can fall down here and be retrieved by the crew running the gun. These engines here are just guidance and steering. They provide a little bit of lift, but the main purpose is to keep it going in the right direction, as well as these rudders here. Might add a few more rudders to it. Back onto the weaponry, since that's the focus at the moment. These are dual-gunned, classic-looking Gatling guns. I love the look of these. Control centers here. I haven't modeled controls yet because I kind of wanted to keep this a little low quality at the moment. Ammo is kept up here, and with some hard work and a ladder can be replenished, but there is a lot of ammo in here. Aiming is done manually by the operator. This section back here is the motor that allows the gun to maneuver. These are kept on pretty thin platforms. They do not have enough section here to run a bunch of mechanical stuff, like pipes and cords and whatever, to allow the gun to operate off the main engines. There are also, at least with this particular design, no main engines in the hole. This whole section here is crew quarters and hangar and deck. There's not actually a lot of hangar space. It's kept down here. It's a relatively small crew, but I didn't think about that when I was modeling it, but we'll get onto that. So this is why it needs its own motor. So the gun crews are required to keep it fueled and operating in good conditions. It is adds a little bit more complexity to it, but I also think it's a nice little change. That's probably a gun I'm not going to add, so there will be some small arms up and down here. These big suckers here are the main engines. It has two of them, and they can carry this ship up to about 100 knots. That might adjust, but that's what I'm going to say for now. They have several ways of cooling, air intake, which I haven't fully modeled, but there's going to be some air intakes along the side of it. They are just big engines that pull this ship along at intense speeds, to where it is not the escorts that can outrun. If this is the flagship, which is common in Red military tactics, it is this ship that can outrun the escorts. There are a few destroyers that can outrun it, but typically not many airships can outrun this thing. It is one of the reasons why the warring nation, these guys, struggle so much, is because these airships can take off. This is about, from here, we'll say to about here, is probably about a month trip, just to bring scale. It's a these are massive continents, we'll say. But if this thing was to run at max speed, just pushing the engines 110% the whole way, it could probably make this roughly in about 3 weeks. Now, they don't run that fast all the time, but it shaves off a ton of time with how fast they can dart over there. It's a very fast carrier. Its planes are even worse. This is the Red Sparrow, which I will open up its project file. I've got about 5 minutes left, so... this is the Red's standard multi-role fighter. It is a very sleek, modern-looking aircraft. It has 2 powerful engines. One engine here, right behind the pilot. It is an extremely fast aircraft, but is still pretty maneuverable. Not the most maneuverable because of its speed mostly, but you'd still struggle in a turn fight against them if you're not a good pilot. These things are the terror of the sky. You have your 2 main machine guns mounted kind of far forward. It takes a lot of practice for a pilot to get good with aiming these, because they're forward and they're low, and there's a pretty good distance between the front of the guns and the pilot. But practice, and the Reds have a very vigorous training for pilots. Its landing system are skis. I don't know why, but I think it looks good. They obviously would actually unfold. That's just the kind of an example, but they're actually... I've got the model here. They're just not done, or they're not rigged fully. Come on, go back up there. Thank you. Getting in and out of the plane is a bit tricky. The cockpit pops up and slides forward, and then the pilot can kind of crawl himself out. This is not a plane you could eject from easily. It is a downside. There's a lot of pilot deaths because of it. There's also... Oh, they're not on this model. They're on the other one. There's skis here as well. These are air brakes, and they also, even though it's not fully modeled, would act as additional cooling in case the engines really start overheating. But their main use is air brakes to help the plane come to not complete stops, obviously, but slow down very fast in a very small amount of speed time. This is an air torpedo. Yes, I don't have torpedoes, I have air torpedoes. I don't have a name for this one, and I'm not even set on the design. They're propeller-driven, kind of expensive torpedoes. They are mounted to the bottom of the plane. If we go back to the carrier, you will see that they are launched from... There might be I knew it. There we go. These guys, well, this rig I need to change, because it was kind of a temporary setup. A lot of the meshes on this are temporary, but they're specially built so that the air torpedo can be mounted to the bottom. These planes do not take off under their own power. They get rolling, they get their engines set up to high speeds, and then they are catapulted off, sending them pretty much up to their combat speed very quickly. These front ones are meant for bombers, but can also be used for Sparrows. So the red torpedoes are kept there. They are on a mechanized timer, so that when they are dropped, a timer starts that basically allows the torpedo to drop below the propeller before fully revving its engine, allowing it to fly forward. It's something else that the pilots take time to practice so that they can really get good at aiming these with knowing that there's a drop. But they have a high flight distance and allow these planes to attack bigger airships. Ones we'll get to, and from a safe distance outside of anti-aircraft guns. And then this gun here is also a work in progress model. This is mostly meant for CAS, for attacking land units. I've got about 40 seconds left. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'll just show off one of my current projects. This guy. This is a work in progress submachine gun. I don't know what faction it's going to belong to. It's clearly based off the MP-18, which I think is a beautiful submachine gun. I love a lot of the experimental World War I weapons. And these are defensive crew weapons. Once the model is closer to being done, I will show it off a bit more. I see my time is pretty much up. But for now, I just show it off a little bit. So yeah, just a quick thing to add on to the end of this. Feedback, please. Feedback on my models, feedback on how I do these videos, because I'm probably not going to edit them. I'm probably just going to render them down a little bit and throw them up entirely, but I'm going to try uploading and making more stuff. And then feedback on the lore and such, and if you want to support me, I'm not going to ask for money, no. Just let me know. Like, it helps motivate me to do more stuff. It feels weird to say, because I'm used to always being the one watching YouTube and having everyone ask me to ask for likes. Now I'm the one asking for likes, but like it, let me know. I am about to say I upload more to like Twitter and such, which if I remember, I will throw it in the description. It might not be there day one because I forget stuff. Yeah, I don't upload a lot to Twitter. It's probably where I upload the most common to, but most frequent to. But I've been busy with work and such, so I haven't done a ton of uploading, but typically screenshots and renders will go there first before anything else. So I'm going to wrap up there. Yeah, give me feedback, and let me know what you guys want to see and such. So yeah, I'm going to end it there. Bye.